Phaser or Godot, pick the wrong one, and you can end up rewriting your entire game. Here is the fast rule. If your game lives in a browser, learn Phaser. Anything else, learn Godot. But that one line hides real nuance, so let's earn the full answer, category by category. Quick, honest heads up before round 1. If Phaser ends up being your pick, I sell a Phaser game dev bundle, 10 complete browser games, full TypeScript source, $19. Reskin them and ship. That is the only thing I am selling in this video, and only if you go Phaser. Link is below. Now, what are these two things, actually? Start with what they fundamentally are, because they are not the same kind of tool. Phaser is a framework. A JavaScript, or TypeScript, game framework built specifically for the browser. You write code in your own editor, you pull Phaser in as a library, and the browser runs it. There is no separate application to install. It is code first from the very first line. Here is one of my Phaser games running live, right in the browser. Sprites, physics, input, collisions, all driven by TypeScript. No plugin, no download, just a web page. Godot is a different animal. Godot is a full game engine, with its own integrated editor, a desktop application you download and open. You build scenes visually, drag nodes around, and script them in GDScript, its Python-like language. It also supports C#. And the big one, Godot handles 2D and 3D. Phaser is 2D only. So the frame is already set. Phaser, a code-first library that lives in the browser. Godot, an editor-first engine that runs everywhere and covers 3D too. That single difference drives almost every decision that follows. So I built the same small 2D game in each. And the difference is in how you work, not in what ships. In Phaser, you live in your code editor. You write a scene as a class, load your sprites, and wire up physics and input in TypeScript. Refresh the browser, and it is running. The whole loop is edit code, save, reload. In Godot, you live in the editor. You compose the scene by dragging nodes into a tree, a player node, a sprite, a collision shape. Then you attach small GDScript files to those nodes. You press play inside the editor, and it launches. Neither is harder in some absolute sense. They are just aimed at different brains. If you already think in code, Phaser feels like home immediately. If you would rather see the game take shape as you build it, Godot's visual editor is a genuine head start. Same game. Two completely different working styles. Hold on to that, it is about to decide your performance, your learning curve, and where your game can actually go. Let's talk performance, carefully, because this is where comparison videos tend to lie to you. Both engines deliver excellent 2D rendering for basically any normal game. Phaser can push thousands of sprites at 60 frames a second in a modern browser. Godot has a slight edge, running native rather than through the browser's JavaScript layer. But for a typical 2D game, you will not feel it. I am not going to invent a benchmark number for you. For the games most people actually make, both are fast enough. Full stop. Where the real gap shows up is bundle size. A Phaser web build can come in under a single megabyte. A Godot web export is much heavier, roughly 15 to 30 megabytes, because you are shipping a whole engine runtime along with the game. On a game portal, where players click and expect it instantly, that size difference matters more than raw frame rate. Small and instant beats slightly faster. Learning curve. And here is where the honest answer flips, depending on who you are. If you already know JavaScript or TypeScript, Phaser has the gentler curve, easily. You are not learning an engine. You are learning a library, in a language you already speak. But if you are not a programmer yet, Godot is often the gentler start. Its visual editor lets you see immediate results, drag a sprite in, hit play, watch it move. That feedback loop is genuinely motivating when you are starting from zero. So there is no universal winner here. A web developer should reach straight for Phaser. A complete beginner who thinks more visually than in code should seriously look at Godot first. Be honest with yourself about which one you are. That single answer saves you weeks of fighting the wrong tool. Export and platforms, this is the category that should decide it for most of you. Phaser is browser first. Your game is a web page. You get zero friction distribution, you send a link, and it runs. From there you can wrap it. A progressive web app, Capacitor for the mobile stores, Electron for desktop. But the web is home. Godot exports natively, everywhere. Windows, Mac OS, and Linux desktop builds. iOS and Android. HTML5 for the web. And console ports, the thing Phaser simply cannot reach. So if you are building for a portal like Crazy Games or Pokey, or embedding a game on a website, Phaser's web-first path is the shortest line to shipping. If you want a native desktop game on Steam, a mobile game that feels native, or you might need 3D or console later, Godot is built for that reach. Match the tool to where your game actually needs to live. So here is the decision tree, the whole thing, on one screen. Question 1. Does your game run in a browser? If yes, and you know JavaScript, choose Phaser. A web portal game, an embedded game, a link you can text to a friend, that is Phaser's home turf. Question 2. Does it target desktop, mobile, or console, or might you need 3D later? Then choose Godot. Native builds, a real editor, and room to grow beyond 2D. That is genuinely it. Deployment target first. Your existing skills second. Everything else, performance, built-in features, is close enough that it rarely breaks the tie. The written comparison on screen walks every category in depth, with the full when to choose breakdown for each engine. It is free, link is below. There is no single winner. There is only the right tool for where your game is going. That is the whole decision. Web game, Phaser. Anything else, Godot. And the nuance that lives in between. Here is your next move. Picked Godot. Your next watch is already lined up, make Flappy Bird in Godot 4, a full beginner build from an empty project. Picked Phaser. The Phaser Game Dev Bundle has 10 complete games with TypeScript source, $19, link below, reskin one and ship it this week. Subscribe for the rest of the engine showdowns. And go build the game, in whichever one fits you. See you in the next one.